to see things this morning today. But to be warm. Just kind of put this together. It is so I'm just making this now to see what I can, how it tastes. But this is ginger. So this is my science. Salt, some Himalayan pink salt, so avocado. It's like other ingredients. Trying to make it into just some wrap. So that I can just eat all this stuff together and then have some kind of like other. I don't know. Oh. Pink Himalayan salt, ginger, cayenne pepper. I put some black pepper. That tastes together. Yeah. This shell tastes different when it's turned. If I cooked it in like wanted in some oil. Now, just kind of try to see what I can put together. Okay. Just kind of. So just try here. So try this up here. Okay. Spicy. Get that juice. I have a page that I made today, actually, and it's just going to be just some workings and perhaps some articles and things like that. Today I wrote like an article. And so, but okay, so it's called Problems with the School to Prison Pipeline. And I wrote one article. I put some pictures up from today and some pictures that I had, of course, I used. But it is definitely volumes of what I am facing in an age that is progressing and that requires my constant change and growth, and also renewal is a word that I can use that too, but I'm careful because I like the word grow, and I cannot keep dialing back. I have to continue to put forth my efforts going forward, so I have to continue to strengthen myself. And I mean, I go through things and I want to feel like myself, so I know that it matters to refill in the situation and to energize and develop and so much stuff as well. But really, as I grow, I find the integrity into kind of defining actually what I'm doing and how I see it. And it's not taken away from anything, as I did not create the School to Prison Pipeline title. But that struggle is mine. And it's not only mine, but mine is mine. I use that title. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. The School to Prison Pipeline is valid, and I'm going to use that page. So that is something that is going to have a lot of, like, just perhaps reading things that are to write, to read, and just different things that I post that are important to me, that make sense, and I can continue to manage and develop, I suppose. But I have some stuff that I want to look into, and just it's time. It's 7:59 a.m. So just I care about myself. I care at all. So I'm here, and I just have to say that I hope that people can find that they can believe in themselves and that they can live, and that they don't have to have restrictions of their age. And when they get to a specific age, they find that it's more time behind them than in front of them. And to look at how much opportunity and space is right here and today. There are many scams, schemes, and narratives, ideas, notions, potions, so much to have someone to believe whatever it is that anybody wants to believe. And so I would hope that I don't have to do this on my own, but I am on my own. Meaning, I'm on my own doing the stuff that I have to do, making it through life. But if I'm the only one doing it, I'm gonna keep taking hits. You know what I'm saying? People gonna keep throwing stuff at me and doing all kinds of shit to me and stuff to me. But I'm gonna keep making it. But I know that I'm black and I shine through so much. But there's also just me saying I'm colorful. But not only am I put a color, and there's no amount to what I am and who I am, but it would be nice if others can truly believe. No, you cannot see what I see, but I live this. I actually have been making through. I see the literally change in me where I had to push myself through, where I had to come back from situations that I was far from at a point where I have been motherfucking laid out hungry, not knowing how I'm gonna make it and what the fuck I can do for my body to sustain and to be able to have the strength and the courage not to fucking fall out in the face of those who hate me and be in their hands to push a narrative that they have already put a script out on, so they'll call it whatever they want to call it other than hunger or starvation. That's all it would be. And so I have to keep on keeping on. And so I hope that people can see, because it gets rough sometimes. Sure it does. But when you look at that shit and you steady being bothered with other people's narratives on what they do and you don't see what's in front of your face, it's a long, hard road of constant searching. And you can't always drive with a map in your face. You're going to have to put some of that shit into some sort of collective space and know and understand. It's time to sit there and breathe through the situations and learn, but also to navigate and create that road for yourself. And that is what's important, because not everyone, like someone said, oh, they like how this, it's these places are so awesome. I said, wow, that's great that you get to see that side of things. So life is what I make it. And so if you make whatever you make, then you make that for yourself. But always know one thing too, I can know yourself and know what you're doing and know like what the fuck do you, so if you don't want to really make it, you don't really stop saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Find another narrative, because you might find life in that. You might find life in your fucking demise. And that shit'll turn around where you get so busy in your own demise, where you won't even fucking feel like you're dying at all. But you'll be planning to reverse an attack on yourself and to further self-sustainability for what you find is best and most useful for yourself. And so I can only say that because that's what I want to say that I have to do for myself. But it is not my demise. It is to intercede, to stop the interference on my life and who I am as a person. To have that self-security, to be secure in myself, to have confidence, the energy and the likeness of just wealth. I can say easily I'm rich because I know. But damn, do I get to the books? You know what I'm saying? Do I get past the attacks? Of course. But the attacks are going to happen. And so I'm learning how to handle them. I know that it's a non-violent cause out there, right? It's a silent treatment. All that shit. I was taken into a mental health hospital, Chapter 51. My children were taken from me. All kinds of things happened because I chose to be quiet for myself. And I say, okay, but what about constitutional rights? But to read through them, and who really has time for that? People are constantly going and applying for this, going and applying for that, joining this, joining that, having to do this, having to do that, want to look like something, but what does it all mean when you get in your car and you drive and you pay your money, you work, and somebody gonna tell you what it is that you have to do, or when you walk, somebody want to tell you how to wear your pants. You know what I'm saying? And maybe these things are logical, but are they for real? When somebody tells you that you're not a whole person, and so it gives people an excuse to rip out your teeth and take whatever they want to take and make your hair fall out and whether whoever, pattern baldness and stuff like that. Those words mean something. And the constant involuntary voluntarism is important. People have to sign up and agree to this. When you vote for someone, they take a record of it. And so they say, this person just literally gave up their right to speak for themselves or go and meet with whoever it is to accomplish whatever. If I go to an agency and say this is a problem and they choose to take on that issue or regulate that problem or whatever it is, that's one thing. And I say, okay, well then I keep on keeping on. It's to some degree of appointment. But to reference those things, I have to do on my own. But then there is the cycle, and there is the school to prison pipeline where people misinterpret ordinances, where they misinterpret policies, where they over police schools and over police specific communities. It was something put out there in Illinois where they have like a list of where they're going to police where they're going to over police a list of neighborhoods, some of which would be like high shopping areas where a lot of used car dealerships are. It's tax time. Tax refunds. People out here trying to make it. They want to get a car that look good so that they can be socially, involved with themselves, and then some things are acceptable. But people want technology, information, access to the future, because shit everywhere else is the past. So when you get into your own time capsule that you can call a motor vehicle, that shit makes sense. Except the problem is they rob the shit out of you at these car dealerships, and then you gotta, it lasts for a little while, then you start smelling radiator fluid and you gotta fix it and you gotta do all this different stuff, and it's just like, when can I ever get to where I want to go to through the mass incarceration school to prison pipeline? And it's possible because people may not know that it affects them, but there is something called poverty. When you drive down the street, if you're making $3 million or billion or $1 trillion a year or a day, an hour, whatever, but you have to drive through somewhere to get to where you're going. You have to breathe air that you get out in this whole thing where the atmosphere has a cover over it somehow. You experience poverty yourself. When you ride on the highway and then say, well, if you don't like it, then you can go behind bars, you can do this, you can do that, or whatever. I've seen that how they build these highways to make high traffic areas and stuff like that. They were snow plowing and the snow was coming down on the level of that traffic on that highway, just like going up toward Milwaukee, near like Ryan Road, going into like downtown Milwaukee and all that stuff right over there, headed straight into Milwaukee. After you come near 7 Mile Road and you drive a little further, and it's over there, right coming into downtown, that downtown area. I don't even know. I don't want to say the wrong street or whatever, but they have that ramp where it goes around and you can head toward Madison, or you can head toward Milwaukee, or you can go to Green Bay, or go to Kenosha, where the fuck you going? Chicago. But it's they build them and build them and build them in traffic. And so the snow plowed and just going right on the other vehicles down. They didn't have it in mind to build it. What they had in mind was to structure some kind of mechanism to push for a plan or a narrative of, a fast lane of mass incarceration that is in a disguise of not accessibility but easy access, or it's a word that I'm trying to get to, but I really can't like hold on to it right now because I probably don't know much about it. But it's just like I don't know, it's easy access, like, I could say that they probably, perhaps, I know what I'm saying, and I see it. I mean, that's why I like to draw. I want to be more an architect too, like I said before. Like, I don't probably know how to draw much, but I can draw houses and things like that, and that's what I've always liked to draw, was houses. I just always have liked to draw houses, and I had houses that I lived in that were fully owned from my parents, but I even just being there, just sitting there, I would draw houses. Even when I was in school, there was no place for me to say, "Hey, this is a class." No one told me, you should go and get into geometry, and you should go and you should get into all these other classes, because this is what I see when I grab your notebook from you. I see that you're drawing a house, or whatever the situation is, or when you have a messy desk, I might happen to come across a picture that you drew with this tire swing in the front yard, and a tree of plenty of fruit, produce, and all kinds of windows of opportunity, and greenery and doors, and just building, but also wildlife. But these people, when they go through those things, they happen to pass through, not to bypass, they have to go through poverty. And they have to allow that poverty to seep through the vents of their car, even in their conditioning. And so it is obvious that it affects everyone in every situation. And so I breathe through my situation, and I know it. There's some people that claim that they are just, real heavy out here in the streets or whatever. They got their eyes on me and trying to fuck with me in what they call a real way, but it don't stop. They got so much that they put together teams and files and shit that they sit on their desk, that they have these people who act like they hate me one moment or whatever, and they study shit that probably ain't even all of what I'm about. But even if it was, shit, I don't give a fuck, because you cannot stop me, because I'm constantly growing. You don't got nobody keeping up with me how I keep up with myself. And so I go through these things, and I'm careful not to put myself through the ailments that are out there, and the articles of falsehood, and the ways that that history is rewritten. I said I had to be careful. I sent the email, and I said I had some typos and I added on to it, but I didn't take shit from it. I did not take anything from it, and I don't care how unprofessional it look to write to city administration in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and show. It might be illiteracy to you, but this is my writing style, and it's important to me. And that's why you have to realize I'm not the same as you, and you are not going to constantly try to postpone my life and put me through the school to prison pipeline and things like that with your mess up interpretation, and how you constantly change the rule and try to keep me from the laws, but then throw me in jail for trying to learn the laws, and your municipal things where it changes everywhere. Kenosha police officer told me it was not illegal to use the bathroom outside if my body parts were not showing. And then all of a sudden I get this ticket. But you know what? They changed it into disorderly conduct because of what the fucking law is, probably. And what was said to me when a police officer drove up to me on a motorcycle north side of Kenosha, Wisconsin. And then I had been talking with the district attorney and trying to work through my problem. Well, emailing district attorney, having a conversation, like literally conversation where he had emailed me back. He said that he called me, right? He said he called me. And the phone number, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't get through. So I immediately wrote him and gave him that fucking phone number. He never emailed me back, never called me back. I told him I was important. People didn't want me at another library, and I went to fucking jail with this surprise ass warrant for my arrest that they put out on February 14th, 2025. But how you putting out a warrant and I'm not cooperating, but I'm talking to you and telling you I have interest and I want to see what's up with this and I want to talk to you about it. But how do you turn into jail? Because they want to get me away from learning, from access to technology and even resources, from warmth and electricity. But I have my own electrons that I have to continue to grow and radiate. And that's how my hair grows. That's how I can see through my eyes. And I have feeling in my hand. And I have moisture in my body. And it grows and it drips and it continues. And so through the constant flow of who I am, I have to make it make sense. But I know right now I have been in the reality of the school to prison pipeline. And if it's an agenda, I don't really give a fuck because I see it. Everywhere around here, it's not even the best situation. Okay? And it's a food desert out here. Babies have to get some kind of formula because their parents do not have enough milk to give them. But people are not telling the truth. How can a person give birth out and constantly put out and not get anything put back in, and then have to go through some sort of society abnormality though? But they don't do shit about it. It's a constant practice and it's bullshit. It's a mess and it's a crime and it's illegal and it's abusive. It's neglectful. It's malpractice of not ever giving the nutrition to build that blood. And so they say, here is that. Because they already get your footprints and they already put you through a system if you allow it. And it does make sense. Because I asked him, I said, what do you need footprints for? What is it? What is the purpose? Motherfuckers just laugh at me or whatever the situation is. And I wasn't really clapping back as much at times because I didn't have it in me, I suppose. But it wasn't like it didn't exist. It was not there. I was not on that page or something. But the shortcomings always stand tall in any kind of situation. Adversity is relevant and true. But for me, I look at like the month of February, and I've been looking at things about calendars and how it's supposed to be like 20 something days and 13 months and all this different things. People actually study and stand up and say, no, you may not be dishonest to whoever comes this way. They can be individuals, but they can be independent, but they can also be individual. And if they find that they want to be just any black person, then they can know the truth. And people want to sit up here and and go and be involved in everything that everybody else, because they're not doing it except walking in their victory. But if I can sit up here and be called automatically African American, just when somebody look at me and go through whatever it is that you all have created, because so many people have just sit there and it's against the law, but so many people do it, it's now customary, and so it's more popular to say, yeah, I know the law, but these people are a corporation. These people are a business. These people have money. These people talk a little bit louder, or these people aren't saying as much anymore because they already have it down pat or whatever. So this is how it's going to go, and this is what it's going to say. And if you don't like it, you can go to jail and a mental hospital. Hope you make it out alive to learn the law. And the law is what? What law is it? And that is the problem. And so the school to prison pipeline is very serious. Mass incarceration comes in many forms as well. Enslavement, all those things have their place. But it's actually just a way of life for some. And I don't have to have peace. Because what is peace? I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly doing things. I walk outside, it's cold. I'm not going to sit up here and be numb to a motherfucking thing. I'm not being numb to nothing. I see that it's hot. I see that if I look at the sun too long, I got to feel some type of way. I advance and I grow. And so how can I be at just one level all of the time? And then somebody want to tell me about a blood pressure, or that I have to have a specific thing. And then they introduce things like disease and things like that. But it's like they're really at a place where it could go either way. And really it's at levels of malnourishment. And so it's keeping me very poor and impoverished inside of my body and vulnerable to the cycles of control, bait and switch, identity, thievery, and inadequacies that lead to the assumption that I have to be what somebody else wants me to be perfect. And this is why so many people go out there and they have surgeries to enhance their bodies and things like that. If I am not good enough with what I have, without money, would you still be there? Because I need money for this. So even if it's elective or somebody has to cover it, so make it make sense. I have to change and do something for my body to please a situation and deny myself constantly and no telling what is being changed or whatever, and the cycle of me where I am still young and growing, and I may have went a little bit too fast in the situation. Some people believe that they get 70 and it's no more. What if at 70, that's when you get your growth spurt? Not everybody can be King Dingaling today. Some people have to do squats and work it out and rub on their body and eat healthy and just allow time to gather itself, build muscle, build strength. But you're not going to look like somebody else. And so many people allow that bait and that switch of the proximity of the mass incarceration of defeat, poverty, and insecurity. It's a word for that is just, I don't even know. But it used to be kind of popular in the 90s. The word was popular. But it's all about not being yourself or whatever. But Black Power is very prevalent in the community too. You know what I'm saying? People are can be supreme in what they want for themselves and still be able to hold an account of who they are and get along with themselves. And so having confidence, okay, I'm here right now. I'm after 7, I may go and wear a white robe and nobody may recognize me, or I may go and put on some kind of robe or whatever, a crown or whatever the situation is, and do my thing. And that's my choice, because I can join a group, but that's not going to be the way that I live, and I'm not going to confuse what I do as if it's my life. And my life is not the sport. But people find that literacy comes important with that too. And so who has the time? Those who are trying to be something that they are not, sit there and hurry through a situation and cause these cycles that can't phase me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it for what it is. Shit. If you on a lot of shit, like I said, I want to meet somebody in the Ku Klux Klan. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I wanna talk to them and see what's up. What is the problem? People gang bang or whatever, but not every gang do that. I mean, it really depends on what's happening. I mean, look at the military. That's the gang. People join in and do whatever they want to, and they truly are accepted. But if you put yourself in a situation and you want to dress like this, and you want to wear, and you're not being individual, your creative self, or you say, well, how come these people get this or that? And it's like minimum wage. I wrote something about minimum wage. And it says this. Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. I said, Jasmine Renee Davis. Minimum wage is too low economics. And I just kind of give some examples. Having babies it's great to have, and of course raise, sure. But in having sense, and then I said, but in having sense, look at if and when I have a household full of babies and no man there active with me, that is a sense of what I would say minimum wages, too low economics. I said it's like some real estate and yet no nutrition for myself, but for the babies, yes, sure, right? And for that man to say he have children that are going to rise up and be something someday, and that are going to be something someday, but they have what they're looking for, but I have the baby. I know that having babies great to have, and of course raise, sure, but it's like some real estate and yet no nutrition for myself, real food, hydration, clean water, milk, or produce. However, the children, the babies have a clean living environment. They're happy, standards, reliable source of energy and nutrients, healthy water, hydration, produce, education, sources and resources, and exercise, plus economic stability. But here I am, Jasmine Renee Davis. I make that happen, but I need something for myself. And so I have to make sure that if I apply myself, I have to have standards. So yeah, I want to have a bunch of babies or whatever the situation is, but I'm going to make sure that if I have to have one baby at a time every few years, I know that I can make it. And it may be 1,000 years, but I can sustain and get to where I have to be in my life, and I can make choices for myself to communicate what it is and how it is. If I'm right here, I'm going to have to raise a baby that is going to have the knowledge in this situation that I am right here sitting on the floor as I'm out here, you know what I'm saying, being myself. But why would I want to get on child support for 50 years at $7, $7 to $60 a week? That's not enough. So then who takes care of the baby if I am down and out? Sure, push me through the school to prison pipeline, mass incarceration, and allow my child to psycho and funnel. But while wearing somebody else's name and being in someone's likeness and image. But it's easy for me to have a conversation to say, this is what I want for myself and how I can hold on to myself and what I need to do. So focus on myself and understand what is good for me. So if I have to buy a bag of beans to get my nutrition, I'd rather learn how to cook a bag of beans in the snowstorm outside and sit up there and eat something that is just going to dissolve very fast. And I have no sense of awareness. Only thing I have is an emptiness and no way to apply to any debt, bill, growth, account, or savings. Anything current or whatever the situation is left up to me. So I have to have the conversation. I say, yeah, this is all I have to do is to let you come inside of me, and maybe you let something go. I don't even know if you eat like I eat. I don't even know if you know what I'm saying, if your body is clean like mine. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what you believe in or who's gonna come and try to now control me because I'm carrying just probably just a little piece of your fucking you're good and you're good and noble body fluid. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be in control whether or not I'm going to repel those things or cleanse my body, or what am I going to hold? How am I going to hold it and enrich myself? But also I have to say there's more to it than just that. Too many people can say that they have been inside me, but it was just that. It was not the act of actual sexual intercourse as I see it today. And although I have not experienced it, I know the knowledge of it, and I know what it looks like, and I can just say that I feel, but I can do more than just imagine. But if I keep accepting minimum wage and not saying, yeah, that's minimum wage, that's the law, that's what you are required to do, and you still, or if you choose to do that, but what is it that you bring to the table? I cannot hate on someone who I signed the papers to say represent me, and they get $1 million a year to represent me because they make the laws to say, if I'm going to talk for this person or whatever, this is what it costs because this is what that person brings. If they make $1 million by talking for me, I know I can make $3 million by just being my fucking self. So the powers and the products and all these powers that are just at bay, they live, they're thriving, it all also contributes to that motherfucking school to prison pipeline because of the security of property and all of the things that are around. And that actually matter. And so it's just like, instead of growing a bigger world, you have to realize not to place people on top of one another and combine people. Grow the world and not try to change and make everybody like one thing. And so I have to look at this for myself. I have to constantly understand what is serious to me. And I would much rather feel myself grow than constantly sit up here and allow someone to go in and out of my doors and break me down to size, and I have nothing left for myself. No collateral as in a reputation or my name, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. And I'm not interested in an opinion of others, not even a popular opinion. I'm the only expert of myself. And so I have to search, and I have to find a way to talk about what it is that I'm going through and ensure it's not insanity. But what is insanity? Because a lot of this shit is in reverse as well. It's a bait and switch. It's a seat filler as well. And not that a seat filler is so bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I can save a seat for somebody. But I'm also going to have my own motherfucking seat. I'm not going to save a seat for somebody and be dumb through the whole fucking process. Not let anything happen for me. Beat up on somebody. Be mean to somebody. Do a bunch of bullshit. And then let somebody else come and just sit. And then I'm what the fuck? Looking up to them. Trying to see what is going on. What is happening. Or whatever the situation is. And I still have to keep on keeping on. So, is it 2 C's here or how many? If it's one, shit, please. That's it. That's mine. You got your seats over there that you in right now. Ain't no motherfucking even exchange because I don't even know you. And I want my own stuff. And so I have to focus on what I'm doing. Sorry. Appreciate it. And so when I look at these things, I have to say, it's better for me to take care of myself and be in a way that I can understand everything. Like roses. People sit there and they get roses. Everybody wants roses at times. And somebody knows somebody that may grow roses. I had a perennial rose bush at 4225 31st Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin, 53144, 1938. I didn't realize that my dad, set things up for constant nutrition. This actually could be a compliment because could be food. People immerse it in a bunch of fucking water and dilute it constantly. But what if I have to put it in some soil, some dirt? But what kind of dirt and how do I fertilize it? And so when I used to sit there and I used to say, these people don't care about me. They too busy. I gotta teach, I gotta do this. When do I ever get to ask questions? When do I ever get to talk to you? When then they say, just go to special education. You'll have all the time that you need. That teacher standing up there trying to learn himself, herself, whatever, themselves. While I have to be a disruption. Yes, because I want in on my life. I want to know what I'm getting myself into. It don't feel that goddamn good. So I don't need to put forth the effort and try and then have somebody to say, they bag the body in some kind of shape, form, or size to the effect that it's Jasmine Renee Davis, but it's not the full thing because I put up a fight. But they have some shackles in the form of bond. On bond, when people stole my money, when people were dishonest and I wasn't even showing my naked body, but now they're trying to have it so I'm in all kinds of traps, and so in case they can get me on something, then they can stick, because it wouldn't stick any other way if they didn't input some kind of forms of entrap. But I don't eat cheese, and I don't have to be a rat. But I'm not hated, because every creature has its own purpose. But I recognize the school to prison pipeline, where I could have just sat there and read through those books and constantly did it. But it was never nothing I didn't know. I appreciated just being there with my dad, but I was used to sitting next to my dad, so it really wasn't. But when I looked at it, even in that moment, I said, my dad is teaching me math. But sometimes I was so busy looking at all the stuff he had around on his dresser and all kinds of other things, because I wanted to learn more about my dad. I gave more of a fuck about him than I did about that math, because really those were not my problems. My dad probably was a problem that I had. And so the school to prison pipeline is it's important to me, because I don't have to lack, and people are saying that I'm lacking to an extreme, but that means to me that they can't touch me. And then I've been threatened with medications and stuff to dumb me down, because they said they didn't understand me. But also it's been because I didn't understand that medication is not going to tell me to understand anything. But what it can do is have me to look at something in a particular way. Now, there are influences out there. There are some people that say, here, take this medication, become a motherfucking superhero. Guiding along the way and doing everything for all of the power, all of the existence. And there are people say, take this medication and fucking die. While they steady put they motherfucking whatever down on me and tell me, you're nothing, you're worthless, just tell me all these things, do, all the time, taking shots, doing all these things. Want to put me in an environment where all I see is fighting and, like, you know what I'm saying, bridges. The fuck? So a motherfucker don't mind burn the motherfucking bridge and they can swim. The fuck you mean? But the thing is, they won't teach swimming because a motherfucker get little and get lost and swim down under the motherfucking sea and they can't catch up. Why? Because they so motherfucking busy trying to be me, they ain't found a way to be their goddamn self. So the school to prison pipeline is important, because I don't mind fucking around and being a mermaid for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be. But people are not going to tell the truth about what life is. And they want people to be right where they can't control them and constantly put traps. Motherfucker have to get it out the mud. But it don't have to be sinking sand. But even if it is sinking sand, there's something right up in there that I can grab. I can move through it. I have to build muscle. But they give medicine to take the muscle from people. And they study these things constantly and say, okay, this is an experiment. This is going to attack this, and this is how much of a time. And they'll put people, and they'll have them to the tyranny. And so it's like, oh, it just happens. This is a person, that person had to. Then, no. Be careful. So I choose to just walk my way and dance my way through what I can do for myself, and I can learn. But I know that there is something called school to prison pipeline, and I am not going to summarize it. So as right now, it's the school to prison pipeline. I have definition, and I am living proof. I have to keep on keeping on and being who I am for my own self. And these things are important. You know, people make people. It's cute when you got somebody. Oh, look at them. They gotta be taught everything, and they're special education. They a little bit slow. And what are you? Because if you leading somebody, wouldn't you want them to grow? Do you want there to be a reflection? And you say, they just don't learn. I'm teaching them everything I know. But that is not everything that is to know. And you have to realize, even though you taught somebody everything that you know, that does not mean that that's all that person knows. And so you can't keep trying to put yourself off onto someone else that is always yourself, destined to be whoever they are. And believe in what you want to believe in. I believe in myself. But I know that I have believed in all kinds of shit. And I still know that whatever I said I believe in, I know that it still exists, and I see it for what it is. Shit, it's another thing, and it's another day's journey. And so I make this page today a problem with the school to prison pipeline. It's not like it's a campaign, but it kind of is. Something that is serious to me, that matters. Somebody said I talk too much, but that's the only way I can get through to myself, is to let somebody know I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for air. I'm fighting for all kinds of things. But I don't have to fight for my life. I have my life. So I'm saying, I suppose I'm fighting to keep my life on somebody else's ground, but I try to go to public places where I can kind of, get away and be my fucking self as best as possible. But some people get a little bit too motherfucking concerned, and me having an attitude problem, I might say, I'm fine, I don't need your help. No, I'm just minding my own business, everything is gonna work itself out, or may not say anything. A motherfucker wanna save the hoe, and the hoe don't want to be saved. I saved myself. And what is saving? I don't have much to save right now any goddamn way. I have to use all my stuff because I have to put in on it. So is it investment? Is it interest? Is it residuals? I don't know. But it's taxing too. So I just keep on keeping on. So the science and the technology of this whole thing is important. And so I'm the only expert on myself, but I have room to consult on a situation such as this because it's real shit. And no matter what, the problems are here and they keep going. So it's not like it's an open book, closed book type of situation. It's when I get away from it, but the knowledge of me knowing. And so it's not like I'm here to save the day. It's here to say that I know that the day exists. And I know that the day is always going to exist, no matter what. So why agree to close my eyes forever where I know that it's something that lasts forever, that I'm supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? That I know that I can be. Shit, I don't have to be bigger than it or anything. I gotta be careful what I say. But shit, anything that happened, I ain't had no motherfucking science fair. I always wanted to build a motherfucking baking soda volcano, all kinds of shit. I was so disappointed Summers Elementary my daughter's 5th grade graduation, I cry seeing them children up there singing. But my child in particular, because her 5th grade, I was taking care of my dad. He had went into cardiac arrest. And then my son was diagnosed with autism through that same school, forced him to be autistic. But I wasn't there for her to, help her put together a science experience. So as we're walking around looking at other people's things, my daughter didn't have hers, but she had a smile on her face. I said, but baby, you got a 5,000 square foot home. You'll be able to build something. What do you want to do in this house? But that turned out to not be ours as well. So at that time, these are problems that I have, and that this is why they say that I can't teach. They try to take away my rights so that I cannot tell somebody else how to make it, and they can tell and it's to climb. But also, it's not me climbing and telling them to carry me on their motherfucking back. It's do it how the fuck you want to do it. My payment is me being me. I walk away from this at any time. But this is why me having my own children matter to me, and I don't have to fuck around. I don't have to worry. But so the school to prison pipeline is something that is accurate and something that is a scheme and a mechanism and a tactic and a resource for a lot of people. And it's thorough. And it's a machine at times. And so, but not to bring anybody else into the equation. I have myself. And so it teaches me how to grow food. It teaches me how to grow myself and to be myself and to live, and how to have a conversation and how to count, and so that I can be able to handle the supply and the demands of who I am as my own person, as an individual. The structure and the capabilities to say, I have emotional intelligence, I have this competency, I have these things, but that's just what I can say that I have to kind of decorate a situation. But all I have is me and my situation. So if right now I want to sing, I can sing. I know that I have this. So I'm not going to constantly put a whole bunch of stuff in me that is going to stop that. I'm going to read through everything that I eat. And then I'm at so far where it's like, oh my goodness. Where there are no words sometimes. Sometimes just like, peanut butter. It's only peanuts. It's only salt. It's only oil sometimes. Or just peanuts and salt. Just peanuts and salt. I can handle that for now. But then I started having a conversation with Smuckers. And I said, well, how do you grow your peanuts? What do you use to that point? What kind of salt is this? What does that salt do? But see, I'm not agreeing to destroy myself. And so if someone is doing something, anything further than what I agree to, then that's a problem. So it's not like I don't know if it's liberating or anything, but it adds a quality to my life to say, I'm trying. And I know what's up to me. I can only do so much for myself, but I don't have to play around. I don't have to mess around. I don't have to fuck around. And so those things have to matter. But I said, okay, I have to find what I can do to get myself together. Because there is no failure. But I don't want to drown. And even if I drown, I don't want somebody to fucking get their hands on me, because I want to be able to wake up. I got to know how to wake up. So I got to be careful to not ruin my senses. I got to be careful of what I consume, what I believe. Even I believe in so much. I said, that's not what I believe in. This shit on it. No, I'm not doing that. And I don't know how to. There's other ways I can change. But then it's going to cause an upset, because there's going to be some losses, but there never has to be a loss without some gains. I don't have any friends. I don't really, you know what I'm saying, like, know anybody. I have to get to know my own children if I ever can, ever again. But I used to believe that I had friends. Those were not my friends. Those were people that was, hey, these are your friends. No, those are fucking classmates. Those are not even mates. They're not even matching up. You don't tell me that you don't bring a level of unprofessionalism into a professional place. You do not attach your emotions to what is structured as professional. That is not supposed to involve emotion. That is a whole different class of things. And that is not for a public school environment. That is something for a domestic household. But that is, again, the school to prison pipeline, where they want to combine everything into the cause and effect of what? Bait and switch identity thieves, where people are confused about what actually matters. You cannot say that you love a student. You walk away from that student. You know what I'm saying, at school. Now, if that student is also your child, then you tell that child at school, this is the approach. I can rank you in a situation, but I cannot love you. I don't know love, I don't want to love, because I cannot give somebody more of me than what I have. And when I used to say something about, I poured my heart out, you know what I'm saying? I didn't mean it like, you know what I'm saying, I want these motherfuckers to do open heart surgery on me, because that's what they tried to do. Just see what is different. Shit, fuck it. Just draw a little shape here, draw a little shape there. Put that bitch through a 3D printer and go on about your motherfucking business. Please. Because people are transplanting fucking shit with 3D printers and animals and people ain't got their way. So leave me the fuck to myself and mind your business. But I was actually saying, like, I'm being real. I'm trying to be emotional here. I feel this. But I have to be careful who I hear. Because their emotions, I could be like feeding into the frequency or the radio activity or something of somebody's, what they're doing up there. And actually, I see it one way, they see it a total different fucking way, and I'm out here bad, looking, you know what I'm saying, in trouble. Cause I'm out here talking about pour out my heart. And motherfuckers say, look, this person has a video talking about it, you know, but I'm not seeing it, so it's translation. So this is what is important. So I have to start to just try to, you know, create my own ways and how it is. And again, I don't know what freedom is. I don't know what justice is right now, but I know that, you know, there is things that are rising up. And it is what it is. When something is made for me, it's made for me. When something is made for you, it's made for you. And me being who I am, that is something for me, and it matters. If I wrap a gift and I put a bow on it and I do all those things and I hand it to a person, I could just keep it for myself and make the change and say, this is for me. Or I could say, this is for you. I've given the same gift to two different people that look like the same for two fucking reasons, two different reasons. For two different feelings, for two different whatever. But I knew that in that standing, that two different individual products that I had to purchase at two different price points, the same amount, but two different swipes of my card or whatever, two different scans or whatever. It was not the same. But I knew that it was served in a manner and an etiquette to a level that was at one place and a level that was at one place. It's total different scales. But I had seen those areas in a way, and it wasn't that it was not special or, you know what I'm saying, well thought through or anything like that. It was that it came from me. But I had to see it, and sometimes I see more of people that, you know what I'm saying, that I should have seen. But that is me being beautiful. And it's not that I regret it. It's not anything like that. But I don't know. You know, all I can say was not what they meant to me today, because whatever, but what it had meant to me previously or before. But then when I started letting others' ideas and other things come into effect and say, shoulda, woulda, coulda, or all these different things, it is what it is, but it never takes away from me and the actual productivity of giving, the art or the science or whatever it is to say, I gave this to you and you keep that. Even though I'm here and things are wherever they are in the universe, that was then and this is now. But that does not mean that I did not mean to give you something. And even if you, whatever the situation is, if you accepted that, does not mean that I have to turn down your appreciation. But that does not mean that I need your appreciation, that I will continue to have that relationship or what that relationship involves, especially on that type of level. So I'm growing through my situations. You know what I'm saying? If I call somebody a bitch, I mean that. Now, somebody might say, oh, you just call somebody a bitch. You gotta go to jail. Good thing you don't think for me. You don't speak for me. I don't want to be a part of your group. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Because you don't know anything about what I'm talking about. And if I say something, I mean it. I'm 38 years of infinity. Don't you dare try to tell me how to speak. Because I didn't even have to interact with that person to begin with. So you make a choice. Take it in stride or don't take it at all. But mind your own, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not out here, you know what I'm saying, doing wrong and being abusive. But the school to prison pipeline is. But there are some things. And the school to prison pipeline is not who I am. That's just one little thing. And it's a branch and a tree outside of my property, a long way away from me. And I'm a long way away from home. But it's there. And it have my name somewhere on it. So I have to keep on keeping on. I had some stuff that I wanted to do on my phone. And so I will continue to live my life. If that is the case, I shared the link. I upload this video to YouTube and keep it, download it in my phone, and get on some other social media kind of things. But media is something that I'm also learning about. The word media, please. I'm trying. And I am not, I am too interested in myself, and I like myself so much, and look how great I am. I cannot stop, but what else can I do? And for me to people say, you look at your eating style is just terrible. Your diet, how can you make it? Because I don't plan on being in jail. I don't plan to be in an inhumane situation. I don't plan for these people to trap me and put me in a human zoo. Or act like I'm strange fruit and see how long I can keep my roots. Please. I understand, so right. People are unreasonable and they are more worried about themselves, and it seems like everybody is more important than me. I have to continue, so that's one reason too why I made this page, to get my word out here and to say that I have a voice and that I am alive and that I exist and that I don't have to be like a transplant, but I can just be who I am and constantly grow. And I say that for a number of reasons as well. And so, all of these things. I'm sure, but just me growing. I'm just growing. I know expiration date that I'm agreeing to. And so, what? But I make it through. And people have doubted me, have told me when I got to. They do it because I must be out of my mind. How can I make it in 0-degree weather? Well, because look at how I've been making it. So outside it was way below zero. It was a snow emergency, all kinds of things, and I figured out a way. Yeah, without some resources, it might have been a little bit tough, but I'm here. But who's to say that someone was ever supposed to build and have different things like this in this sort of climate? You know what I'm saying? So I look at a lot of things in the population control and the constant recycling and the upbeat falsehoods and all kind of mannerisms and etiquettes and ways that are beneficial to me though too. But that all is not of a benefit. And what is a benefit? Shit. So what I'm saying is something is important to me, and I am important, and so I have to keep on keeping on. That's how it is. What does that always look like? Well, it's action. I like to see how I am in situations and stuff too. And so I know I have so many problems. So I look at myself and say, oh, okay, this is how it is. I'm gaining some weight. I'm gaining some weight now. I know what to do to kind of look the way I want to look. And, I'm going to get better. Things like that. And, I'm a bit lazy. Can't make it. But I know how to be active in my body. So I now, not only am I here, with knowing, with experience, with knowledge, with action, with capabilities, with full breathing, self-instruction, learning. So it's never going to be the same. I don't have to fail through it or be sick. I don't have to ask somebody to tell me how I am, and they don't even know, rather. So I have to know about myself, especially right now. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, you should already know. But I have to figure my own problem out and say, oh, this is what it is. It ain't even that. But then it gives something that would dumb me down
so I won't have to think about nothing or feel anything. And say, do you feel better? Yeah, but shit, I had these other problems now too. Okay, well here's something else. And before I know it, I'm not even pooping. I'm not even peeing like I'm supposed to. I'm not even eating right now. My face all this way, that way. Feeling all kind of ways. I don't want that. So I have to be careful of what I believe in and what I carry. Groups are groups and they do what they do and they do it for a reason. But people also have to be careful. And everything is literally volunteer purpose. But there are some things that will make it seem like a person is not in their right mind and they have to sign up and people petition to say, oh, I'll take care of this person. That's okay. The person has nobody. And they'll literally try to wipe out a whole family or whatever just to get rights of that person. And they don't be doing a motherfucking thing. Don't be doing shit. But sitting around living my life for me and not doing shit for themselves and feeling sorry for themselves. And you know what a lot of them people do? They waste a motherfucking way. They goddamn self. And so that's also the school to prison pipeline where motherfucker get two for the price of one. So, the stupid shit, I'm not with that. No. I'm about to have some people fucking me up. They ain't even looking like, you know what I'm saying, how they trying to have me to look. What the fuck? You reading the book and you ain't taking heed to it? I know you don't believe this shit. That's why you want to study me. If I was born to swing, it still don't make me that person. Where is my motherfucker? Because I always did want one. I always wanted some multiples. But I never wanted to be somebody else. So. It's always a brighter day. Sometimes just people get hard. It's hard. People start feeling sorry for themselves and they say, you know what, I could have did this, but you're here. Just do what you have to do now. Like I have to say, I'm here right now. I can do anything right now. Shit, if I want a motherfucker to be around here and behave like I'm motherfucking 3 years old, 12 years old, 1,000 years old, I can. And that ain't saying shit because those are all numbers in a scale in something that someone else says, and this is how it is. And then they say, well, this is how to hurry life through. I said, I'm not in a microwave stage of my life. So I'm going to learn how to use the bathroom. I'm going to learn how to walk. I'm going to learn how to talk. I'm going to learn how to be. And if somebody say, you're deteriorating. No, you just try to have me to be something that I wasn't. And you don't help me. If I have to be around here crawling, I know people will complain and causing a disturbance, but I can. And even if they jail me, they will be wrong ultimately. And I might have to withstand the test of the motherfucking mass incarceration and false imprisonment and all these things that in which also carry the burden and the weight of the school to prison pipeline, but I have to do it. But then if somebody go and they find themselves that they do me in jail because they say, well, Jasmine Renee Davis is causing disturbance because I'm crawling around and people don't understand why would I be 38 years old crawling around. But then they say they have to go through a crawl space to get to their Christmas lights, or they have to crawl for a specific exercise, and they have to crawl at a group, or you know what I'm saying, and they find them and then they look back and they say, but no, that person was wrong. That person didn't have anything that they were doing, that they're doing something with their life, but I couldn't possibly be doing anything with my life. So it makes it better. And they finesse themselves into thinking what they're doing is okay, while they're still now later doing what I did to begin with. But I had to pay the cost to be the boss through the school to prison pipeline. But that's the bullshit. And so I speak out about it. I said, I just want to live it for myself. I want to build my strength. And maybe I need to dial somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And to get to where I need to be. But ain't no motherfucking glory days that I'm lost without. I have more time ahead of me than I have behind me, apparently. Because I'm right here today. And I don't have to remember anything. But I can remind myself too. And I had to be careful. I wrote that. I said remember. But you know what? I don't have to be a member of anything. I don't have to reconnect or rejoin or be anything with anybody ever. I have to keep on keeping on for my own self. Because can nobody do it like me? And I've been around so many people that try to control me, and they don't fucking they don't add me up the way that I add me up. And I just went to jail, you know what I'm saying, last Saturday. And something I'm saying, one woman who starved me, she was writing fucked up reports about me. She was telling me that I was on all kind of meal plans, and she said she was writing me up because I wouldn't eat the food. She took my commissary from me. They threw me in KCDC, threw me in a hole, segregation, where it was like just fecal matter all dried up all to the top of the toilet and all nasty in there. And it was other cells that were actually not as whatever, but I had to clean it. But when I was walking out, when I was leaving out of jail, there she was. And she says to me, "Hi, Jasmine, and this how you doing this and that and the other." And I smiled at her and I said, and I looked at her. I did. I looked at her. And I was just like, you know, these people are sitting up in here when it's a new day, when I'm about to get out of jail and they can see me as a human or whatever. But when I wanted a kind word from them, when I wanted my own food that I paid for, when I didn't want them to be dishonest about me, when I, you know what I'm saying, wanted to charge a tablet to read some fucking books that I didn't even know are accurate or whatever the situation is, to use the phone or whatever, they chose to walk and run all over me and do all kinds of things. But you know what? It's a new day. What's up? Hi. I'm myself. But I'm not going to sit up there and say, build a relationship with them. But then the motherfucker said, before you'll be back. And I said, I'm never coming back to this place again. And I came back. And to look at that same situation and stare in your face and say, I don't have anything to say about it. And I hope this person does not throw that up in my face, because I have full information to disclose. And so I just had to be careful. And somebody can try to take me to the water, but I don't have to drink. And they say, you give somebody something, you know what I'm saying, they eat for one day. But if you teach that person, or that person learns, that person can live forever. You know what I'm saying? Live off of it forever, whatever. So the school to prison pipeline is very reminiscent of actual devising and things to divide and conquer. It's a great debate, but it's identity thievery as well. And I mean, a lot of shit, they say this is what this nation is built on, all kind of shit. America was Atlantis. What the fuck is Atlantis? Broke off and this and that. They said this is a place of great this and that and the other. But what is covering all of it? And so you're not going to motherfucking prostitute me, okay, and school to prison pipeline me to the point where all I'm doing is licking my motherfucking wounds and motherfucking ecstasy all the goddamn time and dehydrated too, lubricating the shit out of my ass. Yeah, I mean that. So I have to be careful as well, because although I'm saying things that are real, I don't want anyone to mistake it and hate on me and I get kicked out of somewhere, because that's a problem. But I don't like how people like to attach themselves to my name and paperwork and all that different stuff. So that's another thing. So I have to be careful of how I say things, but that's something else is important. But so when I'm driving in a car, there are stop signs. Of course, I'm going to stop. There are traffic lights. Of course, I'm going to do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read. And of course, I'm going to understand different things. Like if I'm cooking on high heat, I might, you know what I'm saying, this might turn out good, this might not, but I'm not gonna just not, I'm not gonna blow a stop sign that's there. That's not me. I don't have to stop at that stop sign. I can pay a ticket, I can pay my way through that, but shit, there are consequences and sometimes repercussions. But consequences have its ways. It was a time where I just kept saying, I'm upset, I don't cook well when I'm upset. I just rather just order something, because it's the time I waste so much food. I said, just order a pizza. Go get some chicken. Get some burgers and fries and some soda or some shit. Some chicken nuggets. Because I have to eat, but I never looked at it like just try to work through my problems. And even if, you know what I'm saying, just try to balance it out a little better. So what I do is try to just work my way through it and say, this is how it is. I don't have to hurry into the situation. I don't have to rush into it. But I can say, I know this is what is right here. So even though it's something that I didn't want, but I can control it. So I might stop at a stop sign, maybe yield, yellow light or whatever. They might have a yielding sign or whatever is out there. But then when I know that it's a high crime area, and that's where it's high levels of entrapment, where there are I don't know what they're called, but like on 45th and like Persian Boulevard, 45th Street and Persian Boulevard, it was a stop sign that was not even at the corner. So that was like a trap, some kind of entrapment, and I got busted on that shit. And I was driving a brand new car. It wasn't brand new because it wasn't new to me. It had miles on that motherfucker when I got it. So they drove that shit before me. But I stopped at the stop sign, but then I had to stop again. But what I did was I stopped and then I yielded and I went on my way because it wasn't no sign. So I didn't even have to motherfucking yield. I could have blew through that motherfucker. But it was a 4-way stop sign. So I had the audacity I did what I had to do for me and use my sense and to say, okay, this is what I want to do. And I was pulled over. But what about that stop sign back there? Where you all are using this as a high crime traffic stop area to commission, you know what I'm saying, and to bring in still money. But then you taxing everybody and things like that. And then you want referendums and different things so people can. But how? When you ticketing everybody, how can anybody afford it? So that is the school to prison pipeline, where it's not like a give and a receive and a take. It's just only them taking. It's not like a cycle, like, you know what I'm saying, not like a loan. Like, I learned this in marketing, that it's when you give money, you're loaning it. But when you like ask, okay, so if someone asks me for the money and I give it to them, I'm loaning it to them. But if I was to ask someone for the money and they loan it to me, I'm borrowing it. But I always had thought it was all borrowing or all getting a loan. No. It's a reason for that, and I don't know. But it's to loan and to borrow. But it's not even that. And so what it is, it becomes population, I don't know, dissemination or something like that. But it's a high level of punishment and crime for people just existing. So that is a system that I do not know why, but it is an agenda that is it's serious. And then when people are just putting different places and just destroying people's lives, and then they want to just, they have all these different places where it's taken from people and there's no food. It's just like, just deal with it. You might be hungry, but you're not going to really worry about being hungry. But you might get set an alarm to eat, but you know, you might be a little bit this and that. You might not want, you might go and get something that is highly or whatever. It's going to mess up something for a while. But you know what? When I see myself and I made it through all those years of fast food or going through just eating something, drinking something just because I wanted, not looking at the labels, and I'm here today, and I have bowel movements whenever, you know, urinate, and I'm working, building, like, okay, I want to grow my bladder, I want to grow my body, or whatever the situation is. It tells me I can make it. Some days are going to be tougher than others. Some days are going to weigh me down. Really. I set my wallet on a counter at a place and left it there. Shit, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't paying attention because it's like I took it for granted. But I was used through a system of like it's false advertising, but it was a funneling, some kind of mechanism, and trying to me coping through it or whatever. But I was so upset because I said, I just went through this funnel all the way from fighting and going through this, dealing with trying to warm my hands up, going through all of these things, and worrying about so much, being threatened to literally go to jail and all this stuff. And here I come, the banks. I had to deal with some situation where I found prejudice in the banks, and it's like that. where, all kinds of things. And then these people, I call them and I say, well, I want to come here. I want to handle this. Is it appropriate before I get there? They say, sure. They go over extra things. I say, okay, well, that's just kind of like, hey, okay, no guarantee, but you really telling me that I can come here with my little $82 check. When I got there, they going to tell me, come back. No, this and that. I said, no. So I now have to pull a motherfucking rabbit out my hat. And I don't know how to do that because I never did it before. And it's not just a normal fucking rabbit. It's not the tortoise in the hare either. This motherfucker was some kind of, I had to figure it through. And so I had to go off into an area of learning on as I go. And so I was going through my situation, and then it was also, I was working with time and I wasn't even working. But I also had a problem. There was a factor that if I didn't catch that check, I probably would freeze or, you know what I'm saying, not have a way to travel or something like that, even for food or whatever it is. But these are things that factor in to life that are already problems that people have. But then to add on, not only do I have the problem with school to prison pipeline now, but I can probably wear that, put that in it's like an ingredient, like a salt almost damn near, but it ain't a salt. It's some shit, like it's a seasoning. It ain't a seasoning, but I'm trying to make it make sense here. But I'm saying it's like a gas station. You know what I'm saying? It's a gas station in every neighborhood, but it's different. But I can say I know that I'ma always see a gas station somewhere, and I might drive past it, but I know that it's there and it could have gas. Now it's a watered down gas, it's a premium gas. The fuck would I need synthetic gas for? And then I have to keep fixing my car and doing things. So a lot of people are in business to make sure it's like, it ain't fun if the homies can't have none. So I have to have a bright personality about the situation and look at it like, if I buy into this, I have to know that I'm doing business with more than just myself, right? And so I have to handle it, but I have to get there first, and I have to not accept it, but I have to make room for it. And I'm not always there for every situation because I'm growing through it. And so these are things like, you know what I'm saying, it matters. And so I have to appreciate myself, but also why? That's the thing. I shouldn't have to do that. Why would I buy a brand new car and put synthetic oil in it and not the actual oil? So many people want people to agree to get away from the real thing because it's easier. Because it's like not political, but it's like they can't get to the real shit, right? But they want the money. So they're going to write the laws and say, get these machines out of here, do this, do that, you know what I'm saying? And suffer everybody else so that they can grow, you know what I'm saying, their dynasty and their empires and things like that. Instead of learning how to have a conversation and going somewhere else, get the oil from them little by little and just fill your fucking car up and go into writing books or some shit that you do better than fucking oil, than ruining everybody else's lives. Because, so why would you think they want to share with you and you want to fuck it up? And oil is important. And so it's not like I'm a product of my environment, but I want to walk my way into my situation. And so I know that some things bring more to the table than it takes from the table. And so I had to kind of handle my situation. But I also know that I didn't ever have to go to the school to prison pipeline. But that's what society's saying. You want to do it better for the generation. This is an information around. But like public schools are supposed to be about public information that's in that city. So they're supposed to have these things. But instead, there's a small groups. And they, like here, I'm in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Wisconsin. I'll just say I'm in Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin. So Pleasant Prairie is an important place, but I would just say Wisconsin. And the school to prison pipeline is the business. But it's not everything. Tires fucked up. Banking systems. Food. All kinds of stuff. It's a cycle. And it's like, it's vicious because it's just like, what you gonna do about it? But then when you go to the jails, some of the jails are dirty and the jails are falling apart. That's even you know what I'm saying? That's a crime. It's like, you want people to go here, you ain't even got this together. You know what I'm saying? And so it's because so many people are doing it in somebody else's name, or they're doing it for a different cause, or they don't believe in themselves, or they have to do it in groups, so they believe, like, you know what I'm saying, the next generation, you're doing for the next generation. But then they wonder why it's just a family full of girls or a family full of boys, or no one else is having any children. You don't know that you didn't send your little a woman and they went to the doctor because they couldn't, and they took that womb, and is she not going to tell you, or he's not going to tell you that he doesn't have his sperm count anymore, and then you're saying, oh, you're worthless, you're never going to have children. But you don't know that somebody just went and allowed them to tell them about their body, but they used a weapon instead of their hands. But you were so busy trying to take away from the next person that you weren't looking at your own house. And so a lot of times there are people who actually do care, where they're working and entertaining and taking care of and teaching other people out in the community, and they expect to send their child to a school to learn, and that is what a community is about. But that's why I say I'm an individual, because they're not learning. They're being subjected to the school to prison pipeline. Now, Kenosha has fucking police vehicles with with schools' names on it and every fucking thing. And so it's going to be more than just go to the principal's office, talk about it. It's just really, these people are looking at a radar of jail. But also, those officers are now in the schools, and they're sitting in the classroom, and they're also learning. But then they also want to be like, you know what I'm saying, this authoritative figure where they have to be, you know what I'm saying, this like, they believe that that's what it's about, being bullies. So they're recycling education and having to pay for it over and over again, not teaching, but they're having to go to college and pay for what? Because it's all kinds of different things. If there are going to be distractions, then this should be controlled better. And so these children are learning, and then it goes to motherfuckers ain't having it. They don't want to look like they're any less than, or they're not knowing that they can learn later in life. And so the school to prison pipeline is serious, where the teachers are learning on the job, where they're being pushed through college. You know what I'm saying? They do it because of popularity, or they're being accepted, and they, you know what I'm saying, they just get the grades and then go. Whatever. Like, I was given the wrong book for a class, and I was just still, I knew the book wasn't making sense, but I didn't realize it until when he said, this is the book. I said, it can't be the book because I'm on the page. This is not talking what the fuck you talking about. I know I got some shit going on with me, but I'm not out of my mind. And so that library was mean to me at the college, and it just went on into some serious things where, you know, eventually they kicked me out of school, but it was unlawful because my classes weren't even through yet. I couldn't even finish through my classes. And then they said that they wouldn't kick me out, and I was registered. They took me out of couldn't build a guitar, couldn't learn purchasing, about administration. I had all great classes, but I was in classes in college to that I could meet where I was in my life. Not only through hospitality, but I was taking classes about equity and equality and things like that, where with my background, you know what I'm saying, I would never have gotten them classes unless I chose them individually. If I would have got them through a program, they would have never let me. And so this is why the school to prison pipeline is very serious, because they keep that information. When someone knows that it's something like equity and equality and the power of purchasing and the power of building with my hands and mechanics and structures and things like that, it's a lot better. Horticulture and hieroglyphics and all different kinds of things are just really important that, you know, saying, I was looking into during that time, but I was kicked out. And financial aid, they didn't even give me enough money for what I had to get. But the problem is, you know, it is what it is. So I can talk about this stuff, and I have shown vocally and just here today, just, you know, do this video right now, that the school to prison pipeline is significant to me, and I care about it. And the reason why I care about it is because it's a way that it's just a life of so much, and I want to look further into it. It's of importance to me. I always say that I never say enough, and I may sound stupid because I only talk a little bit, and then I say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and then start talking so much about other things, but that should speak to the age of me, not to me being old, but to me growing, and that I can hold a conversation, and that I'm actually growing. But it's only to the extent of what interests me. And so if I find something that is meaning like something to me, then I can expand on it, expound on it, whatever. But also, I don't have to remember anything, but also I can know everything. And so I made this page, and it's important to me, and I will do some other things. And further take care of myself. Hydration is important. Hydration is very serious. Hydration is not only drinking like water. Hydration is eating and being in saturation. Not to drown myself, but to actually put in, you know what I'm saying? I notice a difference when I drink a gallon of juice opposed to a gallon of water. I keep just draining everything out with that water. But when I drink that juice, it sticks to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes into its appropriate place, and then my lips turn on white. You know what I'm saying? But when I came, like when I got out of jail, and I was talking, my lips are white, but they're not like that right now. But I carried my juice with me. I just kept drinking my juice, just drinking my juice. Every time I looked at my juice, I was drinking my juice. Right? But if that was me just drinking that water, I would have been in a worse situation because I would have been draining everything. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I would have been draining everything. I have some videos on YouTube. I'm just draining that out of me and not putting anything in me. So when I went to a gynecologist before, after having a baby where I was bleeding so much, and that woman didn't offer me iron, folate. She told me not to drink milk, but eat meat, not to drink juice, but drink water. So she subscribed to a different life. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like she was not focused on my life. She was focusing on a life after mine, like life after death. And so when I talk this way, I can because I have confidence in this life, and it's apparent. I mean, people believe in everything, and there are people who, walk around and there's zombie experiences and all kinds of different things. And so I'm not afraid of any of this stuff because I know that where I'm coming from. And so I know that I have a long way to go, but I had to make sure that it's not the pipeline anymore. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure out how to work my way through it. And so a lot of these things matter. And so I have to figure this out and be careful not to dilute the situation or water it down. And so this is something that I want to just use, and if I find, I was just on my phone. I say I was writing on my phone, but I say I can't say typing, so I say I was texting, or I say I was writing using my computer, my handheld computer, my cell phone. And so I'm just going to share a definition, but then I didn't. That's how beautiful I am to myself and how the relationship that I have with myself is important. And I said, okay, but then I'm going to put some Google inserts in there and some things that are important. So I use it and I build from it. And but I really don't even be needing that. But I also added on to it, when I search. But it's just like, I might use one word and I say, I know all this stuff about it, but I don't know everything about it. So I put that in there like that. And then I said, well, this is not of support. This is just of its own actual individual standing. That kind of makes sense. And so I can put it together right here just in this post aside. Like, here's something, and I have the ability that is actually growing and improving. And so when someone says, I hope things get better, I can say, what do you mean by that? Because it could get better, but better for you, but worse for me. Better for me could mean like going against something. So I could say like, if I go against myself, I could be bringing something to me, or I could be pushing something away. And so this is why a lot of people have segregation, or they don't cross the tracks, or these are neighborhoods. And usually these neighborhoods come from perhaps like families or cultures, communities that build, and then something happens where someone loses their house and they have to sell it, and people move in, and then it's just a big uprooting and change, and then it expands, and a lot of things happen where there's no longer like a privacy factor or anything like that in no sense. And so I mean, it's good for people to see different changes, but when you look at, you know, what people put in the water, like there's all different water systems. I've literally been all around. That's another reason why there are problems, because I've tasted the difference in water, like different places. The smell water different, the taste, it ain't all the same. And there are places that do different things to the water, how they treat it. And so some people go off a well system, some people have all different kinds of things, and they do that. Some people, like Racine, puts like fluoride in different things, and it's supposed to be strengthening teeth, but some people say fluoride is awful. And so it's who's looking at this, who's reading it, and what are you doing? But the school to prison pipeline is pretty consistent with abuse to divide and to destroy and to conquer whatever. If you are doing something, you don't have to force someone to follow you. You don't have to force someone to look up to you or hear you. A person I can look and say, I didn't even see anybody watching my video the whole time. But it says I had like 50 views right when I get off of it. I said, I wouldn't even have known that 50 people kind of brushed through my video. So it was some outside people, and probably, I don't even know if they were on a list of my directory. You know what I'm saying? But they're not just staying there. They just come. They just, see what it is, or see what. Some people might see if I'm still doing bad or not. Hoping I'm doing bad, whatever. But I'm not putting malware into their phones or their computer to force my face to be stuck on their screen. And so that's the good thing about me. And so I don't hate on the people who do it, because of course they have a reason. But can they explain it? And so I find when I try to have a conversation, I keep up the conversation, and somebody said, I'm over the top. And I say, even days later, of course I'm over the top, because this is not the highest power. And so I keep on keeping on. And I'm not going to sit up here and settle for less, because people have an idea. Because why? I said, you don't just come to me, and then it's like, oh, this over my head. Well, shit, that's okay if it's over my head, but I can see something way further up. And your problem is me, but my motherfucking problem is why I'm not getting enough oxygen, and people scared that I can't take it. Well, because when I was born into this, somebody had the fucking idea to whoop my ass immediately and drain wherever the fucking hope that I can get it back. And they thought they were going to keep doing it until I said, okay, now it's my time. I want in on my life. And so this is what is very important. And so it's a war, but also there are rules to war. And not only are there rules to war, there are rules to engagement. But also, not only that, I don't have to have any rules with anything, because I don't have to do any of that stuff. It can all happen all outside of me. But when I choose to accept it, it's one thing. But when it's forced on me and described as me accepting it, or me saying that I have to, like someone's going to go to jail if they don't do this or do that, or send them through all kind of different places and different things like that, and this is what number they need, or they get more money this way. There's people out here making $80,000 a year in teaching and more. It's money in teaching, but it really depends. So, I'm not in anybody's money, count anybody's pockets, but people need to keep this shit real. Because I seen, man, please, right here in Wisconsin, there's elementary teachers making more than motherfucking like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in Wisconsin, in this area, southeast Wisconsin. Shit. And so there are people doing all kinds of things. And then even some special education teachers, but there are people making fucking $12 an hour. And there are people making $600,000 a year. just working in a normal county position. But what does that person bring to the table, and what is that person doing? So I'm gonna choose to work on who I am and bring this level of expertise that I have, and be my best self, because I don't want to have to worry about being on food stamps. I couldn't even get a cereal that it said because it was a probiotic, which would equivalent to something that would be healthy on my belly, but it wasn't. It was just like, fiber, different things like that. Why can't the foods? Why can't I buy cereal or those items? And then so eventually I got kicked out. So the police were calling me because I went to the bathroom, because those people exercise their sick care, and so they would rather push artificial things that will eventually push me over to more money, because eventually they're out of the equation. I don't need the food stamps. I don't need their advice. I don't need their, their recommendation. I might say hi to them and saying, maybe, it just really depends. But this is where I have the conversation with somebody. As I said, this whole minimum wage thing, as I kind of get to that, I say it's minimum wage, but this is who I am. This is what I want, and this is what I'm gonna have. And I don't know about tolerating anything, but this is the discussion that I'm having. So I have to do the research on things that I'm interested in anyway. And so, like, if I was going just for a job, not even a career, even a career or whatever, even in school, whatever the situation is, I want to know as much as I can about it. And I want to know, like, the ways that it comes and the ways that it could go. But I also want to know, can these people afford for me to come there, to put my name on their list of, problems, and would they eventually lay me off, but then I'd be on a contract where I can't go to do anything else. But then I'm back claiming food stamps, but they're getting money from me. But then I sign up for something, but then they are out of money because they're misappropriating funds, and they can't get it how they're supposed to get it. Now, this is all shoulda, woulda, coulda, but these are all actually real problems that happen in real life. But good thing for me, I like being a person that can do it for myself, perhaps an entrepreneur or whatever. But what I'm saying is to know that there's productivity and to know the ways to do it. But what is the cost, and what are the stakes? What is being put out there, and what I can't worry about what someone else is going to do, but all I can say is I have to consider about myself and what's happening with me, so I don't give up on myself. I can't give up on myself, and I can't settle for something that just can't motherfucking do the things that I want. Because it causes problems for me. Because I can be up one day and somewhere else the next, and then I have to change to make someone else happy. But I have to literally create a false narrative of myself to be with in a situation. And so I don't want to be crazy just to have a roof over my head, like to have a bed to sleep in. Or, I don't want to have to be insane or sick just so that I'm outside or somebody's not trying to send me to jail. Because either way, it's a jail, but then I get in a double jail or just perhaps one jail or no jail at all. But I can be out and I can fight for myself. And so I have to be careful on what I agree to and what I just rush into just because people say that I have to do better, but I'm not trying that I'm honest, but there's some people who have said that um, that they like watching my videos or whatever shit, and they might describe what they find that could identify in something like confidence. And so I don't let people just be naming me like that, but I am confident. So, and I've said it, and so they gather that from the video, and they probably said, well, their definition is good or whatever the situation is, and that's fine. But it is what it is. So, this is about me, and it is serious, and I have to keep on keeping on. But I know that sometimes people want to attach themselves to me and force themselves on me. And so again, this is about me, and I do not have to be friends with anybody or connect myself to stuff that I want to. Why do I have to take up space, let people take up space in my life where there's no room? Some people don't even cross paths like that. And so, yeah, I can be this person who gets along everywhere, but then I also can be able to get along everywhere, to move along everywhere, and not have to bring everybody with me. My key here is not going to fit in the key there. I was getting my fingerprints in jail on Saturday, and they couldn't get on my fingerprints or whatever, and they had to tell me to put some kind of lotion on so that they can extract these lines on me. But the thing about it is, that was again an enhancer that was not given that actual identity of where I actually was. They're not going to show the malnourishment. Because that stuff matters. What people look through these books and say, what is up with this person's fingerprints? What is up with this and that? And so it's going to always be some kind of false narrative or whatever. But I know myself, and I hold my own hands. And so it's nothing that anybody can do about that. They don't have the actual picture. I have it. And so that's what I continue to thrive off of. But then again, it's just like, it's not like I'm with somebody and say, you know what, I don't want you out there right now. I want you to take care of yourself, be at home, do this or whatever. I don't give a fuck if it's a honeymoon phase or whatever it is. That is not the same thing as somebody telling me that they're literally going to use me up, train me, kill me, and push me over to someone else. And they're going to do that shit 1,000 times, and I'm not know shit about it at all. Where they going to tell me I got to be completely out of my mind? So, that's one of the situations where I can say thanks, but no thanks. But I appreciate myself, It's a serious thing, and they say, your haters are your motivators. Nah, I'm straight because now I had to hurry through every fucking thing. And I dropped my wallet some motherfucking where, you know what I'm saying? But I all I had to do was just sit here and I said, I know exactly where my wallet is. And I didn't think through, I just kept hurrying. I said, hold on. And then it's like, when I figured my problems out, and that's just like when I was doing math, it's like, just show me the problem, and I keep doing it, and then I'm now on the next level. But now it's like, you're not busy. You're busy, or whatever the situation is. So I'm not getting what I need. But it's like, well, okay, I know that Jasmine Renee Davis has the potential to do these things. So no child left behind. School to prison pipeline. So, it's serious, and I'm happy to be myself. So, I keep on keeping on. I don't know. It's just kind of like one of those things, like columns, I suppose, at times too. But shit, fuck, I ain't about to keep on being at some motherfucking broke down port motherfucking plantation. Motherfucker sit up there, and then I'm eating collard greens and not even know that's you know what I'm saying. That's not even the root of it. That's just this part. It's nutrients up there, but it's more nutrients. If I'm getting 1 million pieces of nutrients from some greens, you know what I'm saying? But then it's more down and it's a root and it's an actual thing right there. There's probably 1 billion right here too. So these people are getting the 1 billion of nutrients, not even telling that it even fucking exists, but then also selling like the collard greens or the turnip greens for, or even the mustard greens at kale or whatever, for like 3, 4, 5 times what it's worth. So they are feeding their household, even if it's a household of 1, or they're doing something and they keep living not off of like all the other stuff, I don't know, but they're actually getting some kind of level of nutrients. But the problem is they're worried about my melanin or me recognizing who I am when they have so much structure and the capability to even have land to even plant, or even the knowledge to say, this is what this is what that. And so books can teach. Like I learned about those plants, and then I said, these motherfuckers cut me down there to fuck me up, and they use childbirth for it, and they're gonna keep doing it because they wanna cycle me through their specialists, and they say this is family practice, and it's not me being their family or my family coming. It's their group of people that are basically trying to use me as parts, like a salvage yard. But that is a cycle, and that's an interpretation just one way, and people look at it in many ways in the senses, and so that's how they view it, but that's not how I am. But real recognize real, and so I can acknowledge this, and I can say, wow, you know, but I don't have to be a salvage yard. I don't have to be a garden. I'm just myself, and actually all this stuff stays with me, and actually I can continue to grow. And that's why they say these things, like me being a black person, I don't want to be an endangered species or anything like that, but I can keep growing and say, you know, eagles fly alone and they fly at high things and they get really big. Like I seen like this eagle. I don't even know if it was a real eagle, because knowing me, I was like, they just create this eagle, or did something happen and that eagle was looking around trying to see if it was gonna fly, and it was walking, and it was like kind of trying to lift up a little bit, and it was walking a little, and it was like trying to look up a little bit, and then it was like, I'm like, is it gonna fly? But it don't fly too soon, just kind of, you know what I'm saying, do your thing. Then it was just looking, and it looked like it was just not even the biggest also. And so if I continue to keep what I have in me, but of course I have to flush through my bodily fluids, and that's where sexual activity, orgasms, things like that, blowing my nose, crying, actually crying, you know what I'm saying, urinating, bowel movements, those are the things. And people even use like bowel movements for fertilizer and stuff like that. So it's just like, I gotta live and let live. So I'm not hating, and I'll continue to do what I have to do. And when I'm on my own, I don't know, I can perform a miracle. I can take care of myself, and I'm a little worried about saying miracles these days and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I try to stay alive, and I just don't worry. And I say, you know what? I have myself in a good place. I'm gonna make it. It is what it is. I see myself for who I am. I see this world when I see this world, and I wake up the next day and I have it. And you know, this is the good in me. And it's not like in May where I was so concerned, out there lost, trying to charge my phone, knocking on people's doors, calling people. Can I just sleep? Can I just sleep in your backyard just during the day? Or I was falling asleep on the bus trying to make it through. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, and I just people were calling the police on me. I missed a stop. This black man called the police on me. It's like, just tell the police department whatever he said, however he said, the PD or some shit he said. I'm like, what the fuck? Going to sleep in bathrooms and not facing. Then eventually I just went to this park and I was just out there. And then when I got kicked out of the park, I was just didn't know to go to that next level to sleep with nothing over. And I was just like, it was fucking rain. Like, it was thunder and lightning out there. I was out there with this little fucking umbrella. I had my phone going. I had this generator and shit through the night. I slept under this fucking tree. It was raining. It was July. I got up in the morning. I made it through. I called a lift. Went and washed my clothes, dried them. My blankets, all that shit. And I just try to find my next way in which it shed light on a whole different situation in which that also led to, and it was a part of the mass incarceration of illiteracy, but the soundness of me knowing that I want to, that's the thing. It would be different that I'm pretty, but for me to not have to be in a neighborhood that they don't buy the food that grow teeth, or, you know what I'm saying, everything is all the same seasonings, all the same fruits, all the same vegetables, all just bare minimum to say it's there, and then they pull the teeth out and stuff like that. So I'm pretty until I open my mouth, until I smile, you know what I'm saying? But good thing for me is that when nobody else wants me, I want me. So I'm doing the best that I can. And I can't do any better than what I'm doing, because knowing me, I would be doing better. I went out and got a raggedy ass 5,000 square foot home. Fucked up brand new cars, all kinds of shit. The fuck do you mean that I don't want to make it? I want to make it, but I don't have to allow anybody to make it for me. And so, I'm who I am, and I'm going to keep on keeping on. So that's that for now. And I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. These are my own words, too. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not reading from somebody else, whatever. But, people are out here. It's just amazing. I like seeing other people think all kinds of stuff. I'm just so interested. And I'll be wondering, like, what the fuck? You know, so much happens. I could be around this motherfucker cleaning windows and washing floors, but I'm not. I'm about to be lying down, getting myself together, focus on me. And that's just what I have to do. And I hope nobody, I hope that what I'm saying is I don't want anybody hating because they find they're working their ass off, and what am I doing? Just lying here, not worrying about it. I pay the cost to be the boss. And this is not easy. And I am not overlooking it for what it is, because it's a community place, but it's not mine. And necessarily me. But through some kind of arrangement, it is possible, right? So that's as far as that can go. But I had to maintain control for myself in all that I am and all that I do. And so I have to be careful who I do it with and how. And so seeing other people doing their thing is important. I'm careful with what I read and what I listen to and all that. But I have something, and it's real, and I feel it, and I know who I am, and I know that I can live forever. And I may have to walk away from some people that believe other things, but it's a whole universe. And I can get there.
But I have to try.
And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to pay my bills. I have debt. I'm trying to collect my money too. The same energy. You know what I'm saying? But also, I'm about to talk through this shit because I don't owe what people saying that I owe. And it ain't that people owe me. It's what they know that the fuck is mine. But there's so much other things that I want to do and get the story straight on a lot of stuff so that I can be. But then where would I be? Where would they be without me? I don't give a fuck. I don't care because I'm not with them. And so that's another reason why I can't be in these groups, because I don't believe like them. I'm on something different, and it's unusual around here, and so there's a disturbance for people. But so I have to be myself wherever I am. So I'm here. I'm Jasmine Davis. So it's not about all of other people. It's about myself. So I'm living and I'm here, and I can't give up on myself. And so I believe that. And I can't give up on myself. And what I'm saying is that I know that I can make it. And I know that I can try. And I know that I just, it's just so much. And it's just like, I believe me. And I believe in a purpose, and I believe in a plan. I believe in actions, and I know about my brilliance, and I know that if I have what I can have, then I can be who I want to be, and who I am too, and I can, and I am. I want to be myself. I am Jasmine Renee Davis.